Most people think chocolate is simple, just cocoa, sugar, and maybe milk. But many famous chocolate bars are built with fillers, emulsifiers, and flavor tricks most people never notice. Today, we're breaking down chocolate brands to avoid and 5 that are actually safer choices. Let's start with one of the most recognizable chocolate brands in the United States, Hershey's. The company has been around since the late 1800s and helped shape what many Americans think chocolate should taste like. But the ingredient list tells an important story. Hershey's milk chocolate typically begins with sugar as the first ingredient, followed by milk and chocolate. Cocoa butter is present, but the formula is built around sweetness rather than a high cocoa content. The bars also include soy lecithin, an emulsifier used in chocolate manufacturing. It helps ingredients mix smoothly and allows chocolate to flow easily through large production machines. Lecithin itself is considered safe, but it's also a sign the product is engineered for large-scale factory processing. Another point some chocolate fans notice is flavor. Hershey's chocolate has a slightly tangy taste compared with European-style chocolates. Food historians say this comes from differences in milk processing and manufacturing methods. For many people, Hershey's works fine for candy cravings. But if you're looking for chocolate with a higher cocoa content and fewer additives, there are stronger options available. And once you start looking beyond the biggest household name, the next brand shows how widespread these same shortcuts can be. Nestle is another giant in the chocolate world. The company sells dozens of products globally, including chocolate bars and chocolate used in candy mixes. Like many mass-market chocolates, Nestle products often list sugar as the first ingredient. That means the product is technically more sugary than cocoa. You'll also often notice soy lecithin and added flavoring on the ingredient list. These ingredients help stabilize chocolate and maintain a consistent taste from batch to batch. Large chocolate manufacturers rely on these tools because they produce millions of bars each year. Consistency is critical when you operate on that scale. But chocolate enthusiasts usually judge chocolate by cocoa percentage and bean quality. When sugar dominates the formula, the flavor becomes sweeter and less complex. Moving from global corporations to supermarket shelves, the next example shows how budget brands often follow the same formula. Great value chocolate bars are Walmart's private label products. Their main selling point is price. Different manufacturers produce private label brands under contract. That means the exact supplier can change over time. Because of this system, ingredient lists can vary slightly between batches or product lines. Most great value chocolate bars follow the same basic structure: sugar first, followed by chocolate ingredients and emulsifiers. Lower-priced chocolate often uses smaller amounts of cocoa butter, which is one of the most expensive components of real chocolate. Instead, the recipe relies more heavily on sugar and stabilizers. For occasional treats, this might not matter, but if someone is looking for deeper cocoa flavor or simpler ingredients, budget chocolate bars rarely lead the category. Next comes a brand that many shoppers assume is premium because of its rich branding and higher price. Ghirardelli is widely marketed as a premium chocolate brand in the United States. The company has roots going back to the 1800s and is often associated with gourmet baking. Compared with cheaper brands, Ghirardelli generally uses higher cocoa content and better bean sourcing. However, many of its chocolate bars still list sugar as the first ingredient, especially in milk chocolate varieties. You will also find soy lecithin in several of its products, which again points to the industrial side of chocolate manufacturing. That doesn't mean the chocolate is low quality. In fact, many bakers prefer it because it melts smoothly and has a reliable flavor. But shoppers expecting a minimal ingredient list may still find that the formula relies on the same processing aids used in mass-market chocolate. And once you notice how common those ingredients are, another familiar brand raises similar questions. Cadbury is one of the most famous chocolate brands in the world. In many countries, Cadbury chocolate is known for its creamy texture and smooth flavor. However, the US version of Cadbury Dairy Milk is produced under license, and its formula may differ from that sold in the United Kingdom. Like many milk chocolates, this one begins with sugar and milk solids. Milk chocolate naturally contains less cocoa than dark chocolate, so the sweetness becomes the dominant flavor. Cadbury's chocolate is very popular and widely enjoyed, but it still falls into the category of chocolate designed for sweetness and consistency rather than high cocoa intensity. At this point, we've looked at several widely available brands that rely heavily on sugar and emulsifiers. If this breakdown has been helpful so far, consider subscribing to the channel for more simple guides like this one. Now, let's shift to the brands that many chocolate lovers trust more. Who Kitchen has become popular among people who want chocolate with fewer processed ingredients. One of the brand's core ideas is avoiding common additives used in conventional chocolate. Many Who chocolate bars are made with organic cacao, cocoa butter, and coconut sugar, with very short ingredient lists. Coconut sugar is still a form of sugar, but it replaces refined white sugar in the recipe. Who also avoids soy lecithin and several other additives found in many mass-produced chocolates. Because of that, the chocolate tends to have a stronger cacao flavor and a slightly different texture. Another company that focuses on sourcing and sustainability takes a similar approach. Alter Eco is a chocolate brand known for its focus on organic ingredients and ethical cacao sourcing. Many of its chocolate bars are certified organic and fair trade, meaning the cacao beans come from farms that follow specific environmental and labor standards. The ingredient lists are usually straightforward: cacao beans, cocoa butter, and sugar, often with a higher cocoa percentage than typical candy bars. Higher cacao percentages generally create a darker, less sweet chocolate flavor. Alter Eco also invests in environmentally focused packaging and regenerative agriculture practices in cacao farming regions. For shoppers who care about how chocolate is grown as well as how it tastes, this brand stands out. Another option that keeps ingredients simple comes from a company known for allergen-friendly products. Pascha specializes in organic chocolate with very short ingredient lists. Some of its dark chocolate products contain only cacao and cocoa butter. The brand also focuses on producing chocolate free of common allergens such as dairy, soy, and gluten. Because Pascha avoids emulsifiers such as soy lecithin, its texture may differ slightly from mainstream chocolate. But that simplicity is exactly what attracts many customers. Pascha also uses cacao beans sourced from organic farms, appealing to shoppers seeking chocolate produced with fewer agricultural chemicals. And if you want another brand that combines quality chocolate with ethical sourcing, the next one is widely praised by chocolate fans. Tony's Chocolate is a Dutch chocolate company known not only for its chocolate, but also for its mission. The brand focuses on producing chocolate with fully traceable cocoa supply chains in an effort to address issues like child labor in cacao farming. Tony's chocolate bars typically contain recognizable ingredients like cocoa mass, cocoa butter, sugar, and sometimes milk. The brand also offers several dark chocolate options with higher cacao percentages. Beyond flavor, the company emphasizes transparency and ethical sourcing. And finally, one more brand rounds out the list with a similar focus on organic chocolate production. Theo Chocolate began in Seattle and became one of the first organic and fair trade chocolate makers in the United States. Theo works directly with cacao farmers and uses organic ingredients in many of its products. Its chocolate bars typically contain cacao beans, cocoa butter, sugar, and natural flavorings like vanilla. The company also produces chocolate with higher cocoa percentages, which creates a deeper flavor and less sweetness. For people who want chocolate that balances taste, ingredient simplicity, and responsible sourcing, Theo is often a reliable choice. Chocolate might seem like a simple treat, but the ingredients and sourcing behind each bar can vary a lot. Reading the label and choosing brands that focus on real cacao and fewer additives can make a noticeable difference in flavor and quality.